Hey, what's up guys? Andrew McGuire here. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming to my channel. I'm a former tech employee who was forced out to be a real estate agent to turn investor and now using creative strategies to not only invest but become one of the top real estate agents in my market. Today we're going to talk about where I first started in real estate. That's being a traditional real estate agent. But more importantly, we're going to talk about you. Why maybe you've sold in the past and had a bad experience with an agent. What I learned from going basically to zero to having many transactions every single month to becoming a top agent. Is there some secrets out there that not everybody knows on selling a house, some common myths. We're going to talk about some of those pitfalls, what to look out for, and make sure when you go to sell your house or even buy your house, that you know the questions to ask, that you're in a good place, and you know a few secrets that I'm going to share here today on this video. I believe the top 3 reasons why sellers are having bad experience with agents today are: 1, times have changed. Agents have gotten lazy because anybody used to be able to put sticks into the ground and get a house sold. That's no longer the case. It's time to get back to the basics. The second problem is expectations aren't set up front. There's a lot of agents out there, I'm not calling anybody out, but they're more interested in telling a seller what they want to hear rather than what it's going to actually take to cause their home. The third problem that's out there is there's too many new agents, and I was there just not too long ago, I get it, that are part-time. They're not full-time being agents. They don't have their finger on the pulse of the market because they don't have many buyers and seller transactions going at all times. I think it's a must. So if you guys hang around, we're going to dive into that, but more, and make sure you're in a good place if you ever to go sell your house with another agent. Let's face it, agents have gotten kind of lazy. Like I said in the beginning of the video, you used to just be able to put some sticks in the ground. It didn't even matter if the house was overpriced. Everybody was overbidding and paying for houses way over cost, so it didn't really matter. You didn't need any skill to sell houses. And my belief is that that made agents kind of lazy to where, hey, I can just get this property. My biggest job as an agent is getting a listing agreement signed. Now that I have that listing agreement signed, I'm gonna go kick back, I'm gonna put my sign up in the yard, and they're gonna call me. It's been syndicated to all 250 sites that show your home, and my phone's just gonna start ringing off the hook. Where I don't think that's the truth anymore. I think you have to get back to basics. You have to get out to brokers, to agents, put yourself in the community, in the market, put your property all over social to make sure you're given every chance possible to get the eyeballs on your property, and make sure you give your seller the best chance to actually sell on that property. Now let's talk about expectations for a little bit. This is a big one. What I realized when I first started listing properties as an agent, I've become pretty adept at reading the data, analyzing the data, not only figuring out what's going on in your subdivision, in your neighborhood, with the houses around you, your competition, the homes that were sold previously, the homes that are pending right now, looking at all 3 sets of data. But that's not where we stop. We also have to look at the larger market. What is happening with the market? What's going on with interest rates, days on market, all the different factors. What is the Fed doing? What are they announcing? Are there new subdivisions going up in your area? You want to analyze these trends and put not only for your neighborhood, but is the market to whole. And when I go to meet a seller and talk about listing their property, my number one job as an agent is to show them with the data what the market suggests the home's going to sell for. It's not what I think it's going to sell for. It's not what the neighbor thinks it's going to sell for, or your uncle. It's what the market data says your home should sell for. And sometimes I have to push back. A lot of sellers feel, they think their home, maybe it's worth $755 with the direct comps, but they think it's worth $800, $850. So I have to present that data and sometimes push back a little bit, and that's my number one job, just because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time as an agent, and I actually want to cause it to sell. I'm more interested in results. If you told me you want to sell your house, that's what we're going to do. The problem with a lot of agents out there, if you say it's worth $800, they're gonna yes you. They're gonna say, yes, that's true. We can list it at $800, no problem. And now you end up having a bad experience. And what I always say is I'm more interested in not getting your business and saving both of us our time than getting your business, and then I got to come back to you in a month later and ask you to lower your price because now you're mad at me, the home's not selling, we're mad at each other. Wouldn't you just is it okay for me just to shoot you straight? That's always a question I ask. Hopefully that's the case. And if it's not, we'll still shake friends. You can hire the other agent who's out there saying that your home is worth what you thought it was worth. But together, we should put our minds together and actually look at the data and come up with a price that gets you the top, but also a good experience and causes the home to sell. And I think that's a big problem with selling in agents traditionally, how they work. Yeah, and the other main reason homes are not selling as fast and maybe sellers are having a bad experience with their agent is outdated strategies. I talked a little bit about how agents have gotten lazy, but also their strategies, because they are lazy and they're using old tactics that worked 2 years ago, that leads to a bad experience and, more importantly, your home not selling, which we don't want. So what I think needs to happen is agents, and this is one of the first things I do when we sign a listing agreement, we put your home live, we get it all looking great, but I'm gonna download a list of all the brokers and agents that are active in your community, in the area, and I can pull that data from many different places, seeing how many buyers are actually shopping for your price point within a couple mile radius. And we're gonna call all the agents that are showing those buyers. We're gonna call all the brokers that have either bought or sold a house in the last year or two. And we're just gonna go down that list. We're gonna present your listing and tell them, hey, do you wanna make some money? Do you have extra buyers from your listing? Or since you sold this house, did you meet any other buyers at your open houses? And that's one of the best strategies that's worked for me, is getting back to the phone, getting the property out there in front of as many buyers as possible. And also, I talk a lot about my channel, and if you guys want to make a lot of videos on this, but using terms instead of price. What I've found, there's an old myth out there that the price is the number one thing that sells or buys a house, but that's not true. Since I started using creative strategies, using things like interest rates and down payment, and all kinds of other terms to sell a property, I think price is probably the 5th or 6th most important thing. Things like interest rate, like down payment. Does the property cash flow? Is it a good investment? Is there a balloon payment on it? All those different things that are terms and not price related can allow sellers to get higher prices. And more importantly, if you're in a bind and you want to sell your property fast and get your money out, you start doing things like offering terms, which we can show you how. That'll make your property move a lot faster. And that's one of the things I see with agents, even though it's happening everywhere, these different creative strategies nowadays. A lot of agents are still stuck in the past. They're not getting on board. And unfortunately, I see their listings come off as canceled and expired all the time. I have my team pick up the phone and call them. And then next thing you know, I'm either buying the property or becoming a listing agent and getting results right away. So if you're looking to sell your home soon, here's what I recommend when you sit down with the agent and choose the one that's right for you. First, ask them, why is my house priced this way? And why? How did you come to that? And why are you recommending this price? What strategies are you using to sell it? Are you just using social media? Are you doing nothing at all and just waiting for it to sell itself? And then third, what are you doing today? How many active listings do you have? How many pendings do you have? How many buyers are you working with? Overall transactions, because like I mentioned, you want to have an agent that has the pulse of the market, understands what is going on real time as the markets change. If you want to hear more about these strategies or talk to me about selling your house here in Arizona, you can find my contact info in the description below. Reach out to me. I look forward to getting your text, and my team will get back to you right away, and we'll get your home sold quickly.